Hey guys, come with me to install a 12 volt system in my NP300. I just thought I'd run you through what I'm actually putting in here today. I went over to Red Arc, and picked up a 100 amp hour lithium battery. They didn't have any slim lines in stock, which I was pretty upset about, but we went with the normal battery anyway. My old setup over here wasn't that good. I had a D40 Navara and I deleted the rear seat out of it. And look, it was alright for my first try, but there was definitely a lot of things that I could improve. I did have a 120 amp hour AGM in that, and I found that I just chewed through a lot of power. So I decided to go with lithium this time, from Red Arc. I also got the battery tray. I've got a battery monitor because lithium life. And then over on the other side, we've got stuff from my old setup. I thought, instead of me going out and buying all brand new switches and 12 volt sockets and whatever, I just thought I'd use what I've already got, try and salvage what I can, because that car is now in the bin. Rest in peace. But anyway, got everything we need, hopefully. So without further ado, let's get it all out of the way and get stuck in. Now, a lot of you might ask me why I went with Kings. Now, I'm 18, I don't have a lot of money. So, I've heard some good things and some bad things. Me personally, I've never used a Kings battery before. But we're gonna give them a go, because if they're good, they're worth their money. I'll show you the plan anyway. So in the tub, we've got the tub rack that the rooftop tent sits on. I want to use this dead space up here to put this piece of plywood in, whack that piece of plywood in there, and then we'll be able to have the switches up just over here and run all the cables behind there, so it's all nice and neat. Now I think I'm going to put the battery over there, but we'll see how we go. We might even just make it easier and put it there, but we're going to have to run some cables, which I've got over there. We're going to have to run them all the way from the start battery under the chassis and to the tub. So yeah, we'll get stuck into it, get this old tyre out of the way, get everything else out of the way, and we'll get stuck into it. I think we're going to put the battery in this corner of the tub. Now, me being me, I put a rooftop tent on top of the tub, so it doesn't really make it a ute anymore. So I'm hoping that putting the battery there doesn't interfere with putting my gazebo in there, but worst comes to worst, we'll just unbolt it, swing it out to the back. Now we actually have access to everything, and I don't have to crawl in my tub again. By the way, I know that was sketchy, but I didn't really have a choice. Let's get this tonneau cover off, and you can have a better look at what's going on. Alright, so my plan is to have this bit of ply sit up against this somehow, and then we'll be able to have all the cables running behind it so it's out of the way, and then we'll mount the DC-DC charger on it, battery monitor, whatever else. But we're gonna have to cut this to length, and then we'll start marking everything out, where all the switches are gonna go. Yeah, at least we have room now. I forgot a ruler, so I'm just gonna probably just use my impact bits to mark the straight line. Now this is what you call custom. By no means is this going to be perfect, but it'll be pretty close. Of course, using my brand new King Chrome pen. Not a sponsor, but could be if you wanted to. Yes, I'm using an angle grinder to cut wood. Sue me. Probably not my smartest choice, but I never have great decisions. So yeah, this is probably going to be a lot of me fitting and unfitting, fitting and unfitting, fitting and unfitting, because I don't actually know what I'm doing, but give it a crack. And I've cut it too long. Right. We'll have to cut some more off, shall we? Bingo! That'll fit nice. Hell yeah. I was just gonna tech screw it, but I think I'm gonna do it properly and nutsert it so I can actually take it out. Because if I tech screw it, tech screws in and out, it's just not gonna end well. So I think I'm going to drill some holes in this, hope they line up, and then we'll nutsert in there, bolt it on so that we can start figuring out where everything needs to go. All right, let's go find a drill. All right, update. I've forgotten my drill and I can't find one here. So we're gonna move on to running the cable through the chassis while we wait for one of my mates to come drop off a drill. This is the part that I've been dreading because I really hate getting under cars, but we've got to do it so that I can charge the battery. All right, here we are under the bonnet. Made this loom up for the 12-volt system, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if it's gonna be long enough. We're gonna have to start running it through, but before we run it through, I have to solder a fuse on. Because if we don't use a fuse, guys, we go up in flames. So we'll go over to the table, solder that on, and then we'll get stuck into running this thing down, which, to be honest, I have no idea where I'm gonna put this cable. But we'll figure it out. Come on, let's go. Well, as you might have just seen, that was my attempt at trying to make a 12-volt system, but put my little spin on it. I've never been that good at woodwork, so that idea went in the bin pretty quickly. I got most of it done yesterday, so yeah, I'll give you a look at what I've actually done, run you through how everything works. A few little loose ends to tie up still. For the most part, it's all good. It's in there, it's functioning, so yeah, we'll go have a look. Obviously, my original plan was to run some plywood on that tub rack and keep everything out of the way. I got very fed up and tired with that idea. Not everything I do always goes to plan. I tend to not give myself enough time to complete things, and as my uncle always tells me, I should just write the whole day off, but I never listen. So we've ended up just reusing the King's control box, which, to be honest, in my last setup, that was probably the best thing in it. It worked flawlessly. It's nice and neat. It looks good, you know. Obviously, everyone questions the quality of King's products, but me personally, I think that it's one of their better products is the control box. So I have mounted the DC-DC charger onto the control box. That was purely just to keep it out of the way, keep it all nice and neat and tidy so I didn't have to run wires from other places if I was to mount it elsewhere. We've got the King's battery monitor in there as well, which I'm going to program up this afternoon. I've got the lithium battery at the back there. Everything's nice and neat in the corrugated tubing now, which in my last car I didn't do, and it came back to bite me. Once I started trying to pull things out, change things, everything was just unorganized and it was chaos. So I've really taken my time this time and put everything into corrugated tubing so it's all organized, and if I do ever find a fault or I do ever need to change anything, I can easily rip that out of the corrugated tubing. All the other cables stay in there. I know where every wire goes, so that's all sweet. We've got the shunt as close to the battery as possible, which it doesn't really matter seeing as the control box is all the way over here. It could have been anywhere. There's going to be a tiny little bit of voltage drop anyway. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked with it overall. I charged the battery up today so that it would be nice and topped up and I can actually get an accurate reading on the battery monitor. But yeah, I'm super keen to take this thing away. In I think 2 weekends time, we're going out to bivouac out near Charters Towers. I don't know how much I'll film there, but if I do, you'll see it. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for all watching. I appreciate everyone who stayed till the end and saw what actually happened, because that entire episode was just, it was a kerfuffle. But you know, we got there in the end, so all is well. I'm super keen to get back into this YouTube stuff. I privated all my videos now, but 8 years ago I posted my first vlog, and I watched it with my parents the other day, and just looking back on that was really funny. But I'm really keen to get back into this stuff. Super excited to take you on all the adventures that I go on. We're going to Fraser Island and Brisbane area in November, so I'm super keen to get some footage of that. So yeah, stoked for that, stoked for the new setup. Super keen to run you guys through what's actually in this thing, even though you can probably see it already. I just want to take you through, do a bit of a rig rundown on it. So yeah, not too sure what'll be next episode, but I just can't wait, man. I'm super keen to get into it, keep filming, keep doing what I love. So yeah, anyways guys, thanks for watching.